Who among you sent the Avatar? The god stands, fury on his face as he addresses his fellow deities. He slams the end of his spear into the ground, the sound reverberating throughout the chamber as the weapon breaks ground and causes small fissures to form. Ember sparks fly off of his person. Rumors amongst the mortals say that fire literally runs in his blood, and he has done nothing to dissuade them.
The goddess standing beside him appears calm, not at all perturbed by the display of power. Instead, she coolly observes her fellow gods before she finally says, "As you are aware, my brother and I do not often agree with one another. However, there is one thing we both pride ourselves on, and that is the continued endurance of our battle magic school."
I demand justice for this slight, the god of war snaps in response. I think we should be the ones demanding justice, Hades speaks up, gesturing between himself and Zeus. After all, the magician that we spent centuries cultivating through our bloodlines was killed by that avatar. Our school was attacked, Ares responds sullenly.
2 magicians were killed. One was a fledgling with great potential, however naive he was, Athena says, her voice hard. Olympus flies into an uproar as deities begin to shout over one another.
Silence! Zeus finally roars, his voice booming over the other gods, accompanied by a flash of lightning through the sky. As you all know, avatars do not leave signatures. It is impossible to determine exactly who sent it.
Apollo, Hera calls out. What did you see?
The younger god hesitates before responding. Nothing, my queen. It was as if I saw nothing. Ares makes as if to speak, but Zeus holds up his hand, stopping the god of war as he says firmly, "Identify the god first. Then you may claim the vengeance you seek."
Athena and Ares exchange a glance before they dip their heads in unison, responding, "As is your will, Father." And then they turn and walk out, their strides matching in a deceptively calm rhythm. The other Olympian gods watch them leave before Artemis comments with an amused smile. If the mortals knew about the hunt about to descend upon them, they would quake where they stood.
Then it is a good thing they won't, her twin brother responds. Not until it's too late.
Welcome to Arcadia Academy, the elite school for magicians. Here, we teach our students to prepare for battle like Athena, but fight like Ares. All of our students have the opportunity to learn battle magic should they choose. But remember, great magic requires sacrifice. Hi guys, and welcome to Arcadia Academy. I'm Kelly, your DM for this campaign. Joining me today are Betty, who plays Cassandra.
Why, hello.
Cecil, who plays John Baptiste.
Good evening.
Caleb, who plays James.
Hello, hello.
Logan, who plays Demetrius.
Hey, everyone.
Nick, who plays Alex.
What's up?
And occasionally we'll be graced by Rosie, our resident Catdragon. So, guys, when we last left off, you guys attempted to reason with the golem of Mariana, whose name was revealed to be Zale. And Zale basically kept giving you guys the response of, "That's not in my cardinal command," of which you guys didn't quite understand. You guys attempted to rescue the real Mariana, who you guys were convinced was like starving and dying, and instead woke up a nightmare who somehow emerged from the salt circle when Alex accidentally disrupted it. You guys fought and totally killed the nightmare, and Mariana basically evicted all of you from her room and disappeared. And now you guys have, with the exception of JB, who doesn't think anything's going to happen, and Cassandra, who's a little scared, have decided to speak with the faculty about Mariana. Did I miss anything?
No?
No.
Okay, cool. So again, we are continuing immediately where we last left off, which is with James, Demetrius, and Alex on their way downstairs.
Yeah.
Okay, Cassandra and JB, are you guys going to stay in Cassandra's room?
I think JB will go back to his room.
Okay, so JB's going to go back to his room. Cassandra's going to kind of chill out in hers.
Yeah, Cassandra's gonna stay in her room. She's gonna just flip through the spell books that she has in her room.
Cool. Okay, so are the three of you guys headed straight down the stairs and out of the building, or are you just going to stop by the floors and see if other students are milling about?
What time is it?
It is
Oh, great question.
late
Yeah.
afternoon, so kind
Late
of
afternoon.
before dinner time.
Because it was like midnight.
It was
whenever we-
nighttime.
Yeah,
Oh,
it
shit,
was
you're right.
midnight
Yeah,
when
yeah,
we
yeah.
did that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll say it's like 1:30 or 2 in the morning. I totally forgot that it was that time. Good call,
Okay.
you guys.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
It's like,
'cause, like,
wow,
how-
that was a very long fight.
Yeah. I was gonna say,
Yeah,
right.
no, it wouldn't have lasted that long. Okay, so about 1 or 2 in the morning.
Um.
So you guys still want to go downstairs and talk to faculty?
Yeah. Fuck it.
Do we?
You guys would have to go to like the faculty dormitories
Right.
and wake up the faculty.
I think we should. Otherwise, she's probably going to clean up her mess by the time we're done.
Yeah. Yeah, let's go.
All right. Let's go.
Okay.
Let's handle it now when it's still
So-
fresh.
Agreed.
And before she can beat us to telling her aunt.
She's got ants too.
Her aunt is the headmistress.
Oh, that's some bullshit.
Headmistress Valentine, Mariana Valentine.
Oh,
which
yeah.
is why we kind of want to do this now instead
Yep.
of later.
Yep.
Yeah, so let me ask you guys, how does this work? Because you guys can't exactly waltz into the headmistress's apartment or whatever and be like, hello, we want to talk to you now at 2 in the morning.
Why not?
Because that's not how it works. So you guys go to the faculty dormitory. You guys eventually make your way there after consulting the map you have of the student campus because it is just off campus. It's like at the very corner on the far end of campus. So you guys have a little bit of a trek.
Would we ever be told who we can go to in case of an emergency? And if so, how do we locate them?
Good question. And yes. So you guys were given a couple older students to consult with first, and if necessary, then they would go grab the headmistress. Unless it was, something terrible like Cassandra almost being kidnapped, in which Garrett was able to just run and grab somebody. So amongst the small list of names you guys were given, you would see Jonathan, Renee, and Kellen's names. As for familiar students that you might trust more than others.
I think we should go to Jonathan as we're walking down. I don't think we'll just be able to go talk to the headmistress. There's another system, right? We know about that system. Let's use that other system first and see what an older student has to say.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Let's go
so
bother
you-
Jonathan.
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys head down to the 3rd year floor, and Jonathan's room is, to your surprise, unlocked. It's like hanging slightly ajar, like it's not closed. But the lights are off, as it is like 2 in the morning.
I give a slight knock at the door.
Okay, so you knock on the door, and then you hear almost like a, huh, who's there?
Jonathan, it's Alex. It's kind of important.
Okay. And then you hear like the shuffling as like blankets are being thrown off and footsteps approach and the lights flicker open and Jonathan pulls the door wide open and says, yes, what's going on?
Well, where do we begin?
Well, he's like rubbing one eye, like one hand to his eye, like waking himself up. And he says, well, if it's an emergency, I'd appreciate like a quick summary so we can determine how bad it is. I'm assuming it's an emergency because if it's not, Alex, and I'm hoping it's not, I'm going to make training hell for you.
It's an emergency, we think. So one of our classmates, Mariana Valentine, we found out that she had created a living golem to take her place as she was going through the dream realm. astral projecting herself into the dream realm?
He gives you like a look of sheer disbelief, like he's wondering if he's being pranked.
Yeah, no, not a prank. It happened. And so she had a little salt circle. When that was disturbed, a nightmare was unleashed that we also had to fight, as well as a golem.
Hold on. You were in Mariana's room?
Yes.
How did you get in?
Huh?
How did you guys get into her room?
Magic.
Valentines are fucking notorious for like their high levels of magical protective barriers.
I put my hand on James's shoulders.
I
This
just-
guy right here.
Let me just lay down in front of the bus, why don't you?
And
Hold on.
Jonathan's eyes narrow as he says, "Right, you're at the urge."
Right.
So you guys broke into a fellow student's room,
No.
interrupted
we-
whatever they were doing,
We were-
accidentally summoned a demon horse from somewhere, took it down.
To be fair, we were kind of worried about her since we figured something was up. It's a long story. Did JB ever tell us that we were given a warning by dead Garrett?
He shared it with Cassandra, who shared it with you guys.
Correct.
We were given a warning by Garrett before he died that Mariana was doing something dangerous. And
Okay.
we took it because we took it upon ourselves to make sure she was all right, and we found out that she was doing something suspicious. That her golem wouldn't enter her room, and that led us to think that something was up. And
He was skipping classes. Things were weird. We decided to look into it.
going
And-
off of what we knew at the time,
Did we mention that she had a golem?
So
We would have thought that a student practicing, what I'm assuming is restricted and high level magic, would be kind of a big deal.
And she
Being
had
that
a
so-
Jonathan
golem.
he blinks. His mouth is like wide open, like he doesn't even know where to begin. And he looks at you guys, like moving his expression moving his gaze between all three of you, like going back and forth for a long moment before he finally looks up and says, "I need a drink."
Me too, please.
I feel that on an emotional level.
Okay. So, Mariana Valentine, the heiress to the Valentine family, she had a golem running around
Yes.
that she created.
Yes.
With the help
And-
from Garrett.
She was doing something in her room, some magical ritual of some sort.
To enter the dream realm to find her long lost brother, from what we were reading.
Okay. So all three of you come in, and he like gestures, waves for you guys to come in, and he closes the door behind him, opens up the mini fridge in his room, grabs like 3 beers and like 4 beers, and like opens it, passes it around. He like takes a long swig of his before he says, "Okay, so first thing you guys should know is that technically speaking, the only forbidden magic at this campus is the one to raise the dead. That's not taught, it's forbidden, it's absolutely not a thing. There is no magic here to raise the dead. I mean, I guess unless like you're a god of some sort, but like that's not something that's taught to us."
How do we know that she wasn't trying to figure out some long lost ritual or way to get her brother back?
Do you guys know?
Mm,
We
No?
don't know much.
Okay,
We just know that
so
she
a
was.
golem is really, really high level magic. And I know that the high noble families will oftentimes start teaching their young early. They are oftentimes a little more powerful than the rest of their peers when they enter Arcadia Academy or whatever institution of magic their parents or families send them to, but she should not have been able to create a golem of any sort, much less, you said a living golem?
Yes,
I haven't even heard of that. I
It-
don't even know what that is.
it took her
But
form.
that seems extremely powerful, and she most definitely had help. As for the oh boy. And he like takes another long swig and he says, "Look, I don't know what to tell you about the whole dreamwalking thing. Like, all I know is the problem with opening doors sometimes is that you may not be the only one to use it. So the fact that she's been apparently doing this for a while, he's like
Yeah.
asking you guys questioningly.
From what it seemed like, at least a couple of weeks.
Okay, and then the fact that you guys started having nightmares a couple days ago, it doesn't seem like a coincidence. And that, out of everything you've shared, might be the one thing that the faculty would care about. They probably won't care about her making a golem. If anything, they'll be impressed that she has the resources to do so.
What
They
about
probably will care about
nightmare
the fact that you
horse?
broke into her room because
It's not breaking if you knew the key.
okay, and you also remember that her headmistress, her aunt is the headmistress. You try that argument with her.
You probably should have told him
You
that.
guys are wondering probably if this is big and important enough to bring up to the headmistress right away, which is probably why you guys came to me first.
Yeah.
Correct.
Which
We were
is
we were hoping-
smart because the headmistress would have probably flayed all of you. We'll
Phew.
bring it to her first thing in the morning. We'll skip morning physical fitness class with Professor Walker, and he'll just have to deal with it. It's like 2 in the morning, a couple hours won't make a difference. And I'm assuming you probably rightfully pissed her off.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
So a couple things could happen between now and tomorrow, or at some point. She could file a formal complaint against all of you for breaking into her room. Especially you, and he gestures at you, Demetrius, because it's a slight from one noble house to another. So you should, as a courtesy, let your family know so that they can be prepared to deal with whatever repercussions come about. I don't know the Valentines very well, and I know that Sylvie doesn't either, but I would wager that you probably picked the wrong person to piss off. If I had to put my money on it.
Good to know. We kind of figured that. I kind of figured that.
But anyways, he kind of gestures, you guys are welcome to crash here if you want. You guys can go back up to your rooms, but first thing in the morning, we will go speak with the headmistress.
Sounds good.
Okay.
I'm gonna go back up to my room. I'm not. Alex knows that it was a threat, but he probably feels like it's less of a threat towards him in
Sure.
general. Definitely because he's not a theurge or traveler.
Mm-hmm. And Mariana didn't speak directly to you. She spoke directly to Cassandra and James and addressed the rest of you like generally.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean she didn't know that JB like was technically quote unquote there, just the imp, of which she could have figured it was anybody's familiar. So, you guys try to get some sleep, or do you guys like not sleep at all?
Try to get some.
Okay.
I
So
can
since it was
just
already
calm
like
emotions if anyone wants it to help them sleep.
yeah.
James,
Since
go
it
ahead
was
and
already
leave
like 2 in the morning and you guys wake up at like say 5 or 6 for battle magic or whatnot, you guys can take a short rest if you want, but you guys are going to be running on without a long rest.
Sounds fair.
John Baptiste is going for a long rest. If he misses class, he misses class.
Okay, then JB has a long rest and misses class. Cassandra, Are you going to be running on less sleep and going to class and whatnot? Or are you
yeah,
gonna skip and-
Cassandra's gonna run on less sleep.
Okay,
Question, actually.
sure.
Physical fitness class. That professor. Does he seem like the kind of professor who would be mad at you if you skipped one day?
Absolutely. Unless you had
Okay,
a very
never
good
mind.
reason.
Uh,
The impression you got from day one was that he accepts no excuses.
okay, Cassandra's going. She'll take the short rest.
Okay. All right. So, first thing in the morning, Jonathan meets the three of you, Demetrius, Alex, and James, at the ground floor, just outside.
And Alex would have texted Cassandra and JB that they talked to Alex instead first and went for
Jonathan.
his advice.
You guys talk to Jonathan first.
Yeah, that's why I said we talked to Jonathan first.
All right. So Jonathan walks you guys over to the faculty, to this lavish looking building. It looks both simple but classic at the same time, somehow like in the simple but expensive sort of way. And he walks right inside. He seems to know where he's going. He takes you guys up to the very top floor. And as the elevator doors ding open, a voice calls out, "Yes!" And you guys see Olivia Quinn wearing a back brace, but she looks somewhat better than when you guys saw her at open house. And she says, "Hello, fletchlings. What brings you here this hour of the morning?"
Rosie.
The cat, apparently. The cat brings you here at this hour of the morning.
We have business of the utmost importance.
We would like to talk to the headmistress.
She'll be with you in just a moment. She is finishing up a meeting right now.
$5 says it's with Mariana.
So Olivia Quinn directs you guys to sit down on a rather comfortable looking couch or a set of couches. And do you guys sit down?
Yeah.
Very comfortably.
Okay. So after maybe 5-10 minutes, the lavish doors on the opposite end of the little waiting area swing open, and the headmistress walks out with Mariana and Zale
That bitch.
Kind of
walking
figured.
side by side.
Yeah, we're already here.
And they're not saying anything. They look like they just finished a conversation or whatever. And Mariana doesn't even look at any of you guys as she sweeps right through and takes the elevator down with Zale by her side. And the headmistress, after seeing her niece head off, she turns to you guys and says, "What can I do for you, fletchlings?" And Jonathan's just like wide-eyed watching Mariana and Zale leaving. But then as Headmistress Valentine is staring directly at him, he quickly recollects himself, blinks, and says, yes, last night or very early this morning, ma'am, the first year students," and he gestures to the three of you, "came to me with concerns that they found."
The cause of the nightmares?
Are you interjecting?
I'm at least whispering, at least in a low tone, so Alex can and Jonathan can hear it.
And Jonathan whispers back, "You don't actually know that." And he clears his breath and goes, "They came to me with suspicions of what they believe to be influencing the dream states of everyone on campus lately." And at that, Headmistress Valentine raises an eyebrow, but she turns to the three of you and says, "And what do you believe to be the cause of the dream states of everyone on the campus?"
I don't know. Maybe your niece walking through the dream realm for 2 weeks.
Interesting. And what proof do you bring, fletchlings?
We should have.
She doesn't look angry or anything. She looks rather curious.
Should we tell the story?
We will.
Are you whispering amongst yourselves?
I think he's kind of giving like the nod or the look Like,
Yeah.
are we gonna tell
Yeah.
a story?
Yeah, I'm giving the look of are we and hoping for like a response of yeah.
Yeah, James will nod his head.
Okay,
Then to say
before you guys get to that, Demetrius, upon Jonathan's advice, did you or did you not warn your parents that there was a chance Mariana Valentine would be filing a grievance against your house?
Ooh.
I'm going to allow you to answer how you would. So if you say yes, you can and be like, I texted them. Or you can say, no, I haven't gotten to that yet. There is no in between. There is no, I started a draft and I forgot to email it out.
Yeah. But, the thing is, how do I want to play that? Because
Would Demetrius have taken a threat seriously? Because a formal complaint against one's house is not like a prank matter. It is a very serious deal.
I would have, because I failed that saving throw, that I would have then assumed that it was the truth. So then, yes. Okay, in that case, yes, I would have mentioned it.
Okay.
But if I passed that saving throw, I probably would have just shrugged it off.
Okay. And you did not pass, so you would have taken it seriously.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So go on, Alex.
I was just going to say, do we just want to say that we tell her the story without having to recap the story again?
Yeah,
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, we will. Yeah, we
So
will.
are you guys going to tell her every single detail?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
no, I would hide certain details.
So you
She's
guys are
gonna
like
know.
talking
She's
over each
gonna-
other, and
she's
eventually
gonna-
details spill out.
She's gonna know anyways because
Mariana
Mario's here first. Yeah. So there's no James will not hide anything. He will do the whole spiel in 1080p, full color, full send.
Alex would definitely be impressed by James telling the full truth.
The whole truth
And
and
kinda-
nothing but the truth.
It just kind of nod in approval. Like,
Do you
yeah,
mention Cassandra and JB?
He will not name names. He'll just say the group. We.
I see.
The collective we.
Yes.
collective we.
Got
Who
it.
is this we? We.
Got it.
Yeah, the three of us took that. Yeah, the three of us.
we the people. No, he will
Got it.
not.
Okay,
yeah, he's
just
not
wanted to
gonna-
clarify.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
Yeah,
cool,
and
cool.
as you guys like share every single detail, like you almost, Alex, I assume you're sitting next to Jonathan. You almost feel Jonathan like sink.
Cringe.
Yeah, like he's like, oh
Sinking
my
to the
fucking
couch.
god, what did I walk myself into at 2 a.m. when I opened my door? And
You're
he's
just staying in
looking at
bed,
you guys
buddy.
with
You're
this.
just staying
Not
in bed.
folks.
Yeah. So, Headmistress Valentine watches you guys with this growing expression of something of a mix between curiosity and just suspended disbelief almost. And when you guys finish, she's quiet for a long moment. And then she says, well, fletchlings, I don't know what it was that possessed you to decide that this was something you could handle by yourselves, but you do leave me in something of a conundrum.
And that would be,
Are you saying that out loud?
yeah.
First off, my niece has decided to file a formal complaint against House Opados for improper behavior from one house of nobility to another. And you have just admitted and substantiated such a claim. Secondly, my niece did admit to casting some powerful magic that she should not have had the ability to do so. However, that was not within the scope of magic that we do not allow, and it is quite rude to interrupt another in the middle of spellcasting. Regardless of how I feel about it, it is spellcasting etiquette, especially because powerful spells require rare components not easily obtained. And my niece did share that the cost for this was irreplaceable. I do not condone what she did, nor the manner in which she did so. However, the spells have been cast, there is no undoing it. You did offer clarification into the nature of what could be tampering with these dreams, and I would support this theory. Olivia is looking into it. Well, I should say she just started looking into it, so we will have no way of seeing whether or not this is resolved until it's over. With that being said, my niece has agreed to drop any further formal grievances against the lot of you. She's gesturing to your collective we, by the way. However, she did lay down some conditions, amongst them being, as she has said that she has made this clear, she wants no contact or communication with any of you.
What's the exact wording of the grievance?
I'm so glad you asked, Logan. So, when nobility files this formal complaint, they have a couple options. When a formal complaint is filed, it is a very big deal. Occasionally invoked when a member of one house has been severely slighted by another. It almost always results in something of value being exchanged for forgiveness. Now, when you're asking for the exact wording, Headmistress Valentine frowns a little bit as she says, if you do not follow the demands, she will demand your life as forfeit.
It's excessive.
Yes, it
You like
is.
that, huh?
However, as far as you know, Logan, or Demetrius, she is absolutely able to do so if she wants. And the fact that you are the only child and only son of House Opedos doesn't matter in this circumstance.
No, I need to know what she wrote because that seems a little excessive.
It is excessive, and you absolutely would recognize it as a valid demand.
I
So
don't know
let
if it's
me-
valid. I want to know exactly what it says.
Sure. Let me see. 1 second. I'm writing it out. I wrote like a different formal complaint for a different scenario, so I have to adapt it now to this one. Okay. So I, Mariana Valentine of House Valentine, am lodging a formal complaint against Demetrius Opedos of House Opedos for improper behavior from one minor noble house against a major noble house.
Minor.
I want no further communication or interaction with him. Any further attempts to do so will result in my demanding his life as forfeit.
But what is the case that she's bringing up? I want to know that.
Oh,
What's the reason for? You can't just file a complaint. I want to know what the complaint is.
I mean, that is the complaint, but
What's the evidence? What's her reasoning for filing the complaint?
Technically, Demetrius wasn't there.
Yeah.
He was just
I never went in the room.
Yeah. He was just nearby when it happened.
Yeah, so please come at me.
you tried to break into her room.
I did not. I knocked on the door.
No, you rolled a strength check to see if you could break into her room.
She doesn't know.
That was a
Olivia.
very loud knock. That's what it was. And I said housekeeping.
Hold on. Let me make a roll.
And you calling me a minor. Really? Right there's your second flaw.
Let's see.
Bring this on. Get my lawyers.
You can bring your lawyers to get them involved. Okay. So, as you recognize that the wording is somewhat vague, Headmistress Valentine gives you the note anyways because it has been signed. And it's got like the Valentine House insignia and everything in it. And Headmistress gives you that and she says, yes, I do recognize that this is vague. However, as I also pointed out to Mariana, there is no proof that a crime of any sort was committed. However, she maintains that she wants no further communication or interaction with you. Any of you. I believe I can convince her to drop this formal complaint in exchange for you leaving her alone.
Drop
She
what?
already
There's nothing
has.
there. There's nothing there to complain about. She has nothing. There's no wording saying exactly what I did wrong for her to demand this request.
You, as well as I do, know that it is your word against hers. And the other houses are going to be more likely to believe her word over yours if you bring this up.
My thing is, there's nothing in there saying something. She's not.
There's
There's
nothing
nothing
in
for
there
her-
saying that there's nothing either.
That makes no sense. That means I could file a complaint against her. and say the exact same wording.
You are welcome to do so. And then it is your word against hers.
What
But
word?
she
About
has
what?
proof that her room was broken into. She
Not by
has
me.
placed all of you at the scene.
I was in the hallway. Anybody could be in the hallway at 1 o'clock in the morning.
At 2 in the morning, specifically outside her door,
She was up.
admitting to fighting this nightmare.
It was in my way, and I had to go to the bathroom.
You have one in your own room.
I don't like that one.
Demetrius, when you are speaking with the headmistress in such a way, oh shit, you weren't there.
Exactly. I wasn't
No,
there.
no. You were not there along with Logan when the headmistress did that nifty little trick where it felt like there was an invisible string tugging at you guys. Oh, crap. Okay.
Exactly, yeah. And Betty was saying, I was just talking to who I thought was Mariana at night, because I was working out.
Okay.
And so,
Logan has or Demetrius has a pretty good alibi. Like he was
He
talking to
does!
Mariana.
Yeah.
And Mariana
So-
ran up and he was just like, and didn't say anything. And he's
Okay.
like, oh, what's up? Followed her
Right
to her
now,
room and then got
Mariana
attacked.
has lodged
That's a very good alibi.
Mariana has lodged a formal complaint against your house. It is a very serious grievance and accusation. Headmistress Valentine is basically telling you, I think that if you leave her the fuck alone, I can get her to calm down enough to revoke this
How about
without
getting-
it being sent up.
Sent
And
up
you're basically telling her, this is bullshit, I'm calling you out on it.
on specifically me, yeah, sure. Anyone else, yeah, I'll back down if it's attached to anybody else. But if
Okay,
if you're
so then-
specifically going after me, then
Yes, she is
good luck.
specifically. So what are you going to do now? Because the headmistress is not Mariana. Mariana left this with the headmistress to send up to
Yeah.
the governing ancient houses, who are basically the judge for this. So Mariana literally said, I want no further communication from you, or else I'm gonna demand your life as the price. She's basically
Ma'am,
saying, leave me the fuck alone.
It's not worth
Are
it.
you saying no?
She's gonna get it dropped for you, man. Stop arguing.
I could fight this though.
You can try. And
Alright.
you already know that the Valentines are a very strong, old, ancient family.
Fuck it.
You would know this.
Alright.
You, Demetrius, would know this, even filled with pride and anger and whatever else you're feeling. You would know that if you were to try to fight this in any way, there's a chance it's gonna go badly for you.
She ain't got shit.
She really doesn't. But you know what? For the sake of the game, we're gonna go forward.
Do we need to go through a D&D legal battle? You're not gonna win.
No, I literally I done nothing wrong. I went for a run. I ran into her. I had a drink with her.
So you want to fight this?
She cast blindness on me, and then ran off. I went to go back to my room. There's a freaking, or I went back.
So you want to fight this, or no? Yes or no? Because you are literally just going back and forth with the headmistress right now,
Fine.
and she is kind of looking a little annoyed.
So am I. Yeah, you know what? No, I'm gonna go with it because if she's gonna be a problem in the future, and somebody's got to be there.
So you are gonna go with it, as in you are gonna concede and leave her the fuck alone.
No,
You're gonna fight. So what are you gonna do?
I'm gonna fight.
How? Are you gonna lodge a counter complaint?
I'm gonna I'm gonna complain that the current thing that is written into me is not a valid complaint of any sort whatsoever.
Okay.
Or, well, in that case, then I might as well just drop it.
Drop what?
It's a hard decision. Fine, I'll drop it.
Okay.
Dropping it. Final answer. Go.
So you're telling the headmistress that, fine, if you think that you can get her to drop this, I will concede and respect her desire for distance or whatever?
Sure.
Okay. So the headmistress nods, and you see this almost glimmer of respect in her eye as she does so. And she says, unfortunately for all of you, I do not have better news. However, hopefully, with this newest reveal of information, Olivia can make more sense of her dreams. I believe that both Professors Cresswell and Fitzgerald have made good progress towards a gentle sleeping balm. They should be looking to distribute it amongst the first years primarily before offering it to other years in the next coming days. She sighs heavily, looks away for a moment, and turns back to you and says, I know that my niece is not the easiest person to get along with. There is much that even I do not know about her. She has not had much reason to trust in the goodness of others, especially once her brother disappeared. And I regret to say that I was not a bigger part of her life growing up. I am doing everything I can. However, I have an entire campus that I am responsible for. And that does mean that my niece is not my priority. So I do thank all of you for bringing this to my attention because I would not have seen this coming. You have my gratitude. Take care now, fledglings. And you would all recognize that as a dismissal.
Thank you, Headmaster. Mistress.
James will just nod and spin on his heel. Head out.
Mm-hmm. I'll follow behind James.
Demetrius just walks out.
Okay. So Demetrius, as you walk out, like the second you guys leave like the entryway of the faculty dormitory, your phone starts vibrating with like text messages from your mother, panicking. She's got like sending emojis between OMG, what's going on? Son, are you all right?
I
Because she
text
figures you're in school, so she's not like calling you. Hence the text messages.
I text her back. Everything's fine for now. No need to worry.
And she immediately responds with, call your father and I after class immediately.
Sure.
Okay.
Alex would pat Demetrius on the back. You made the right choice back there.
And beside you guys, Jonathan's just looking heavenward like, oh my god, you guys. What the fuck did I walk into?
As Jonathan's player and creator, I would have been disappointed in the fact that we just dumped the entire truth, almost the entire truth. We didn't lie. We could have. He was expecting us to lie. I'm pretty sure he was.
Well, this Jonathan's much more soft, and I think he's baffled. Once he like gets a moment to collect himself, he looks at you guys and he's kind of like, you guys definitely don't take the easy way ever, do you?
What's
Where's the
that?
fun in that?
Clearly, you guys are certainly a lot of troublemakers. But thanks for the excitement. I'm sure the others will be excited to hear about this.
It's gonna go full Law and Order on that.
Yeah.
But James,
I would have backed
when
you.
you have a moment, we should really talk.
That is Jonathan.
Yep, Jonathan says it to you, James.
All right, cool.
And he nods at you and he says, well, I am going to head to class. I don't really care what the rest of you do. I'm sure Olivia Quinn by now has already notified Professor Walker of our absence, but I could really work off some of this stress until later.
Yep.
So,
Thanks for your help.
he kind of like gives you like this wave as he's several feet ahead of you guys, like this wave of acknowledgement. So you guys all get together at some point to debrief, or what's going on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So at this point, we are going to do a small time skip. We're going to fast forward about 3 weeks. As far as you guys can see, as far as you guys are aware, things are relatively normal. Mariana, the real one, is back amongst all of you. True
How do
to
we
form,
know?
she ignores you, all of you. She is switched out of your language study group as she wanted no contact with any of you, and that would be really hard to learn a language if you guys don't talk to each other.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing she's not gonna want to be on our team for Blinkball.
Damn, she would have been really useful.
Hold on, guys. We haven't even gotten to the introduction of the Blink Ball stuff. Let's see. Zale is like the worst kept secret in the entire history of the school. Everybody seems to be impressed more than scared about the fact that a first-year student somehow created a living golem. And so you see Zale quite a bit as well. Sometimes coming with Mariana to class, sometimes just walking around, sometimes sitting with her in the common area.
Please tell me she just has something small to tell them apart, like just like a ribbon in the hair or
A
something,
ribbon.
just as noticeably different.
Yeah. So the real Mariana wears a necklace of some sort around her neck with a quartz pendant dangling from it. Zale does not.
Good to know.
Although in their photos they both wear necklaces. But Zale occasionally does wear some sort of necklace. It doesn't have like a big dangling quartz like Mariana has. So Mariana is the one with the heirloom necklace, as far as you guys are aware. And before you know it, you guys are all gathered together in the auditorium for some sort of announcement. And when I find my notes for the announcement, I will share that.
Yes, the announcement.
God damn it. So,
Quick.
Headmistress
Assistant David,
Valentine.
Snap. Announcement.
No, but you guys find yourselves gathered in the auditorium for some kind of announcement. And once you guys are all gathered, Headmistress Valentine walks up to the podium and she says, "The time has come for our school to host this year's Blink Ball Games." And with that, there is like a loud roar of cheers and hurrahs as students like stand and clap in excitement. Demetrius, you might be amongst them as you know how incredible this opportunity is.
Yes.
And the headmistress kind of stands back with a soft smile, watching all of you guys celebrate, and waits for the sound to die down before she says, "For those of you who are not aware of this, the Blink Ball Games is a long-standing tradition in the magical world that occurs every 3 years. Each recognized school of magic takes turns hosting this competition of prowess and merit. This gives schools the opportunity to show off the various talents of their students. For the first time, the librarians and the hedge witches are participating, and they will each enter a team of magic users of similar status and abilities. The Blink Ball Games tests not just your magical aptitude or your magician abilities, but everything of all you are. Think of it as some combination of an obstacle course and a survival course. The prize changes every time, but it is always grand and it is handcrafted by the host school. On top of that, the members of the winning teams are traditionally offered extravagant employment opportunities as graduation approaches. Winners of 2 tournaments are regarded in the highest esteem by members of the community and looked upon as favored by the gods. Now, as each eligible school is able to determine the criteria to be met, we also decide the criteria. In order for your team to enter, each member must be of a different discipline. You may have a backup or alternate team member with the same discipline, but for each challenge, all participating members must be of different disciplines. Each team member must be 18 years old at a minimum, and the team must be capable of casting a cooperative magic spell. Each team member must willingly bind their soul to the Blink Ball Games for the duration of the tournament, as this ensures that no sabotage can occur between teams without the saboteurs marking themselves. Additionally, each participating member must sign a waiver acknowledging the risks and dangers they may face, up to and including death. Now, teams are traditionally entered in numbers between 4 and 6. However, most teams do enter with the maximum. This decision can also be based upon the discretion of the school's headmaster. Now, as the winner of the last Blink Ball Games came from our school, Arcadia Academy will be entering 3 teams this year. We are going to be matched by 3 teams from the War Mage College. So, I expect the 3 top teams. You may enter your teams. The instructions will be found at the podium. You have 72 hours to decide, and then I will choose the 3 best teams by the end of the week. Choose wisely. And at that, the students stand up again, bursting into applause as Headmistress Valentine waves and walks off. So, guys,
If you think
So
that
we've
all
got
of us
2 hours to learn cooperative magic. Is that the thing?
so let me show you the contract.
Yeah, Mariana doesn't have a soul, so she couldn't play.
72 hours. Yeah, 72 hours to learn
Zing.
cooperative magic.
Oh, that was so good. I love it. Okay, so the contract, guys, it's pretty straightforward. I blank your name of age, sound mind, and will hereby agree to bind my soul to the Blinkball games for the duration of the tournament. By signing this document, I attest that each member of my team is of a different discipline and that collectively we are capable of casting a cooperative magic spell as part of the requirements to participate. I acknowledge the risks and dangers that I may face throughout this tournament, up to and including death, and I willingly accept these hazards. Additionally, I willingly submit myself to Sumerian law should I breach the terms of the tournament and attack a visitor and or fellow participant. May Ares and Athena guide my might, and Catdragon Rosie, and may my team earn Cleos through our victory.
Yeah, so cooperative magic.
Mm-hmm.
we don't have
So are
that
you guys
yet.
all planning to enter?
Well, we don't have that.
yet.
Well, we
Keyword
need it
there.
in 72 hours.
All of you roll me a history check.
Oh
Again.
boy.
Is it something in a book? Do I get advantage?
Damn it, I roll suck. Got a 7.
16. James with that
Natural.
natural
Okay.
20.
Great.
So
No.
James, being potentially the most focused of everybody during open house, you would have remembered and recalled, and Cassandra, and Alex. So at
And
least half of you
Demetrius.
guys would remember this immediately. The students chanting as the entity was attacking. And Headmistress Valentine mentioned that that was an example of cooperative magic that any student can cast who is keyed into the school wards, as long as they know the words. And you guys are all students keyed into the school's wards.
So yes, we are capable of casting cooperative magic.
You guys just
And
haven't
we
had the
just-
opportunity to actually do it yet.
Yeah.
Okay. Do we know the words?
Well, Cassandra, you were a little
Yeah.
busy trying to not die.
I think we could just
Fair.
ask the words in order to do it. I'm pretty sure that should be like
Well-
common knowledge.
Yeah. So absolutely. So who do you
Okay.
guys want to try?
How many people can go into this game?
Max
Basi-
of 6, minimum
4
4.
to 6, but
There's
each school
5 of
can
us.
basically say, but the schools can put a cap, or they can dictate like, hey, you have to have 6 or you have to have 5. And the headmistress did say that she's going to pick the 3 best teams.
The question
Do we
is,
have backups?
So if you may have one backup, but like each person who's participating in the challenges can't be the same discipline. Like they can't be the same discipline. So no duplicates. You can have a backup to swap out with somebody, but you can't like have 2 nature magic users on the team for the same challenge.
So, my question is, if something happens to somebody and they can't participate, but you still have, like, say we have 5 people, and then say something happens to Cassandra and she can't participate in one of the challenges, then we'd be down to 4. Technically, still more than a minimum. Could we go forward?
Theoretically, yes, you would be at a disadvantage compared to the other teams, but
Okay.
technically, yeah.
so the 5, so
So we should just all
It's-
5 enter. Yeah.
all 5 enter, and should we have someone else? Should we? We don't know many of our
we don't
classmates
know
by
anyone.
name. Do we want to?
Do they all have to be in the same year?
We can
No.
ask some of the 3rd years that we know.
I doubt they'd want to come with us. I feel like they would make their own group.
That's true.
But yeah, we don't know any of the other first years.
One
Mm,
hates us, the other one's dead. So
Yeah,
You
that's
guys
fair.
still have 19 more to choose from.
19
but
that you
like,
never told
I
us
don't
about or
remember any of
doing.
them.
We never met any of them.
To be
We
fair, I
have
had a
no names or disciplines.
To be
Yeah.
fair, I introduced a whole fuck ton of other NPCs, and I was a little busy with, Thumb. So, if you guys would like to look amongst your fellow first years, I will come up with names.
Who's going to be the
Nah.
best?
Where's my phone list of names?
Don't name anyone after me. I already have a cat.
Yeah, no, I would be super confused. So no, they would not be named.
Can we get
Okay.
that night? Can we get that nightmare back?
Is it a student?
I don't know.
Okay.
Or what about JB's imp? That's
That's not
That
a
would be
student.
sick.
I think that's part of JB.
Yeah. Is JB there? Is JB decided to not go to the auditorium announcement?
No, this is 3 weeks later, so
Okay.
he's there.
So Cassandra's gonna look at him, go, Are you in? Do you want to do it? Do you want to do the games?
I
Clarify.
done already gave my soul away once. I can't be doing it a second time.
Oh, you don't want to participate.
Don't think I can sign that contract in good faith.
Oh.
well, if you sign it, then whoever demon that you hang out with, he's got to make you win, because if you lose, then he doesn't get your soul. Bam. That's how that works.
So JB, you would understand that the way the contract works is for the duration of the Blink Ball games, mostly to ensure that there's no sabotaging going on amongst other students. It's not like it's not like you're signing your soul
No,
away
I
indefinitely.
understand that, but
Okay.
I don't see the incentive for John Baptiste to agree to sign or participate.
Gotcha.
Well, he signs his soul away to like almost everybody.
He signed his soul away to one thing.
All it takes is one.
All it takes is
It's
one.
JB, not Squall.
The gateway demon.
Where were you guys in that other game?
That's what I was thinking. Oh.
So that leaves us with 4 participants.
That's something for the kids to know. Don't sell your soul to demons, kids.
Don't
won't
recommend
be
it.
able to
Always
play
read the fine
games.
print.
Yep.
Yeah.
You might lose your voice. See, kids know that. They watch Ariel, The Little Mermaid.
Well, the thing is, why didn't she write it down?
What? The contract?
No. Well, she can write, so why didn't she tell Prince Eric, like, write it?
Yeah. Who knows? Because then there wouldn't be a story. Also, we're getting really off track.
Yes, we are.
So is it just 4?
He might be able to coerce John Baptiste in it, but right now he doesn't see any reason to mess around with things that he doesn't understand, especially after the stuff with Mariana.
I'm kind of curious about what this reward is. Like,
Yeah, aren't you at
it's
least...
a very good reward. And the thing is, like, if we're going to live in this world where things happen and whatnot that we may or may not understand, I feel like having some clout for participating in games, at least being like chosen to be one of the groups, I feel like that would
Yeah.
help you in the long run.
Yeah,
If you're
Demetrius
gonna
is
live in
very
this world, might as well play
or-
by the game. Play by the
Demetrius
rules.
is very ecstatic about this game, and hopefully that hype rubs off, because he's got 72 hours to convince you.
More
Yeah.
clout for John Baptiste is more clout for the Baron.
Well, you're going to have to prove it to John Baptiste because he's not buying this at all.
Oh my gosh, I can't.
Rosie is very vocal tonight.
I think she wants JB to participate. That's why she's meowing.
She just not stop, just continuously. It's very distracting. Okay. Yeah, Cassandra's just gonna say her piece about having clout and this game giving you prestige, helping you in life, blah blah blah, and then that's it.
I mean, it's also possibly for the reward. At least it also might bring in more income. That's something we don't seem to be getting a lot of.
What are you talking about?
Not
Not
all of us here
was
are
born with
rich.
a silver spoon in our mouth, all right, Demetrius?
Hey, a silver spoon. More gold.
Look,
Ah.
friend, I understand that you would like me to participate, but I am not an athlete. I am not a fighter. I am a lover. I will give you that. But
I'm
I
not
don't
a-
see any reason to test my skills on the field of battle, as it were.
You know, the contract doesn't say anything about not seducing your fellow contestants, you know?
Yeah.
Love your way into victory.
Love your way.
To be fair, it is to test your skills, not just your magical ones.
Yeah, and we don't even know exactly how this game is played.
And we wouldn't
That
really
is-
have been able to figure out anything about Mariana without you.
That is exactly what my point is, friend. We know nothing at all about this. Why don't we find out a little bit more before any of us sign on that binding contract?
Yeah, Demetrius, so do you want to tell us more about what is involved in Blink Ball games? You seem to
Yeah,
know.
you seem to be excited about this.
Yeah, is the game change every year?
Well, let me tell you, DM.
The game absolutely changes every year. The prize also changes every year. It is different every year, but the one thing that does not change is that it tests basically everything of who you are. Not just who you are as a magician, but who you are as a person.
Can you give us like examples? Like what was it like the last time?
So, if you want examples of the last Blink Ball games, you might want to talk to a couple of the students from the winning team last 3 years ago.
And
Huh?
who are they?
Yeah.
So, I'm so glad you finally asked. So, you might recognize them as
I knew
Callan
it.
and Renee,
Oh.
part of the winning team from the previous Blink Ball games.
Oh, and they're still here. Oh wait, hold on. Aren't they third years?
Callan is a 5th year, Renee is a 4th year.
Oh, okay. Oh, so you
So-
can like potentially win as a first year, but I guess they went in as like I guess you can potentially win as lower level, like lower years.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, she
Okay,
I
would
mean,
have
you
well-
also don't know who was on the
Renee
team,
would've-
but yeah.
Yeah. Renee was the first year, Callan was a
Callan was the second
second
year.
year.
All right.
Mhm.
Well, does Demetrius know? Because it was only 3 years ago. So did he
So
watch
3
the
years
games?
ago, Demetrius, you would not have watched the games as it was hosted by the War Mage College, and your parents have an extreme prejudice against the War Mage College. They would not set foot there if it was the last living sanctuary on Earth.
Yeah, I hate War Mages.
So you guys might have, you would have probably heard about it or something, and
But should I at least know what's involved other than it will test your skills in every shape or form? Like,
there's
is it trials?
traditionally 3 challenges, but that number can change. But there's generally 3 challenges from what you remember of previous years.
Are they trials or like relay races or
It changes.
is it like okay?
Like there is no thing that really stays the same as far as you know. Like it's some combination of a bunch of things. It's not
Okay.
solely like a relay race. It's not solely like a triathlon. It's not solely one thing or another. It's a bunch of different things.
Okay, then I explain that to the group. Whatever.
So
what
should
Kelly
we-
just said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is this a
So
bunch
do-
of... So
Go ahead.
I guess we should go talk to Renee or Callan. I'm pretty sure they're getting swarmed right now, but if we have any questions, they'll be the ones to ask.
Yeah, is JB curious at all, or is he kind of like, I'm just gonna sit this out entirely? Or pull a Rosie and be like, I demand attention.
JB always demands attention. I mean, I have no problem with going along if the gang's going to ask questions.
Cassandra's gonna try to drag you along to get more information.
For someone who's a bookworm, you're really excited about this.
Right?
Well, okay. Cassandra's very practical, so the benefits of this outweigh the costs. But also she can't do this alone. So more people, the better.
Okay. I'm down to leave too if everyone else wants to.
Yeah, let's go talk.
Let's go find them. Which one are you trying to find? I feel like we should talk to Kellen instead of Renee.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just avoid that situation entirely.
What'd you do to
Yeah, let's go
Renee?
find Kellen.
Renee is
Mariana's mentor.
yeah.
Oh. Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, let's go talk to Kellen.
Okay, so you guys find Callan casually hanging out in the battle magic arena with a group of students around him, and you recognize all of them
Okay.
as your
Yes.
discipline mentors. And they're kind of standing in a loose circle, just chit chatting. And when you guys approach, they look up and kind of nod at you in greeting.
What's up?
Hello. And that's Callan as he steps forward. Can we help you?
Yeah, we just wanted to ask you a couple questions. We're interested in joining the Blink Ball games, and we just wanted to see if you had any tips.
We wanted to also know what the last challenges were like.
So it really, really depends on the school hosting it. So the War Mage College, they're basically like a military academy. So a lot it played out like a war game. Although, quite honestly speaking, the Blink Ball games is basically a war game.
What do you mean by it being a war game?
Well, when you have all these big powers in the world, there has to be some sort of deterrent so that the schools don't just, or countries just attack each other. So the Blink Ball games it basically allows the schools to play out a war game to see where the powers are, to see who's
currently
got the
top?
strongest candidates.
Cassandra's a little worried now.
So what?
I mean, there's a reason they make you sign your soul to the Blink Ball games. It's so that we stop sabotaging each other. It's a collective we, by the way. I have a lot more honor than something underhanded like sabotage. But yes.
So what happens after the Blink Ball games? Is your soul still connected to the other participants?
No. It's literally exactly as the terms of the contract. You sign your soul for the duration of the games. If for some reason your team is eliminated early, you're still bound because you're still considered a participant. But the moment the closing ceremony concludes, the contracts are burned by magical fire.
What did you guys do during your games? What was the trials?
So the first was some sort of information intelligence sort of exam to see how you could gather and process information. The other one was some kind of game that we had to play. You had to learn it on the spot and then play it against another team. And the third one was like this combination of some sort of like an obstacle course and like some kind of puzzle. Again, it's different every year because the schools who do it plan it out a little differently. If it's too predictable, then any people could cheat their way through. But they are designed in such a way that even if you can find a cheat, it doesn't behoove you to use it.
So would you happen to know what Arcadia Academy's last Blink Ball Games tournament games were?
I don't.
Was this a long time ago?
No, we typically have a victory every 9, at least within every 9 to 12 years. So we do pretty well, all things considered. Arcadia Academy and the War Mage College are usually in the top 2 or 3 of the schools.
So it's the winning school that puts on the game the next year?
Yes, the school of the winning team has the honor of hosting the Blink Ball games the following year.
Ah, I see. Okay.
So, if you guys are entering or planning to enter, I wish you the best of luck.
Will you be entering again?
I kind of have to. He kind of gives you like a general, Prince Charming kind of smile. It is our school's honor at stake, and as Renee and I were part of the winning team the previous year, we have both been asked to lead a team. It is a
Oh.
great honor.
Are you leading separate teams?
Of course.
And is this
If
your
you
team?
want to lead this team,
I'm gonna like gesture around. Is this your team? To gesture to our mentors, I guess.
If you were hoping to recruit them, then I apologize. I already asked them months ago.
Oh. I'm gonna nod since like I know them all, I guess. Well, good luck.
Thank you. Are you guys heading off?
how many's on that team?
As many as us, including
1, 2,
Kellen.
3, 4, 5. They've got 6.
Yeah,
Okay.
because it's all of our mentors plus 1.
Yeah.
My gosh, Kelly, can we play them? Oh my gosh, I really want to.
I wish
No,
you
we're
guys
gonna
could
have
play
to
them,
fight
but you
that.
guys have
That's
to
fair.
play your team. And if for some reason you guys end up fighting each other, I'm not going to have you guys. That's going to be a headache.
That's
So,
fair. No, I
I'm
just
sorry to dash your hopes and dreams, Betty, but
Sophie's
maybe
just
not
so cool.
this time.
That's fair. Cassandra's gonna turn to JB.
So,
What do you think? You got your more information?
Yeah, you heard that same information too, didn't you, Shay? War games, I do believe they started with. That was probably the fifth word used.
Yeah, but
I'm not a fighter. I do not want to risk hurting this beautiful face.
But also, he started with the first game was
start to glow.
they figured out how to research information. It was the quickest person to go figure out information. That doesn't seem like it's going to hurt your pretty face.
That also sounds extremely boring. I have no interest in researching anything at all.
that is true. JB is not inclined to academics, and he has made this clear.
If you're worried about hurting yourself, I have abilities to heal people. As my hand just starts lightly glowing green.
I just don't understand why you are all racing to throw yourselves into a fire. This just seems, especially after we just been through, that this might be too much of a risk to be taken on at this present juncture.
Well, I guess my train of thought is that if I'm going to live in this world with a mark upon my back, I may as well have some clout behind it to make people think twice about actually trying to go at me.
Or it makes you a target.
Yeah, I was a little worried about that too. It's one or the other, but that's why I want as many people as possible. Because if we drop out, then
Also, to be fair, the more people, to be fair, this is something that only happens once every 3 years. It might be a good idea to have that type of, or at least look like we've been trying to. Oh, I'm not the best at convincing people.
Okay, so you guys are attempting to convince JB to be on your team for the Blink Ball games, and we'll say that a day passes. Something I forgot to mention earlier is that ever since Mariana was woken up, you guys have noticed a drastic improvement in your quality of sleep.
oh, thank goodness. Do we get any more dreams?
Perhaps, but we're not going to roll for them now.
Okay.
So, the next day, you guys are sitting in class, and there is the abrupt crackle of energy. And then a figure stands in front of Mariana, one hand reaching outwards and gripping her throat. And all of you recognize the familiar form of Leopold Valentine. And Mariana gasps, her fingers wrapping around his hand as she chokes out, there's something different about you. Yes, Leopold says calmly. You've been walking where you shouldn't, little sister. The ruler of the dream realm hates trespassers, and I've been ordered to kill you. And that is where we're going to end the episode.
Oh,
Well, I
boy.
think we figured out how we're going to get her to drop and stop hating us.
So,
No,
until next time,
I-
guys. Bye.
Intrigue.
bye.
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 No,
Oh,
I,
boy.
I'm
We
legit.
can.
I'm legit turning around in my seat and just watching the board. I am just going to let all of that happen.
Thanks for listening. For more information about the world of Arcadia Academy, please check out our website, bookwyrmsandcatdragons.com. That is book, W-Y-R-M-S, and catdragons.com. Everything is spelled exactly how it sounds, except for worms, which is W-Y-R-M-S. And if you like what you're listening to so far, please consider supporting our Patreon, patreon.com/bookwyrmsandcatdragons. Patrons get exclusive access to the behind-the-scenes content that you won't find anywhere else, including a new patron shoutout, an invite to patron-only Discord channels, and depending on the tier, access to our Party Talk segments where we discuss sessions, opportunities to name NPCs, chances to submit a signature spell for the world, invitations to monthly Q&As with our team, and so much more. See you next time!
Some notes for the episode. Cecil, aka JB, was sorta MIA for this episode because he was having power issues due to storm warnings. All Kelly will say about the potential legal battle that Demetrius wanted to bring up is that if it did go to court, House Opatus would need a new heir and Logan would need a new character. And yes, House Valentine does outrank House Opatos. Quick lore drop. Despite Zeus being the king of the gods and patron to House Opatos, it was not Zeus who created magicians. It was Ares and Athena who created magicians, and thus the houses they are patron to, mainly House Romanov and House Valentine, are viewed with much greater esteem than other noble houses.